was stripped completely naked. Just like witches. He had his wrists bound to his ankles, and he was hoisted into the air and dropped. Just before he hit the ground, the executioner choked the rope, the force dislocating both of his arms and his legs. He was then lifted halfway and dropped, and throughout the day, lifted and dropped until he was left battered and broken. We then locked him inside the Market Cross and gave him his award for the first naked bungee jumper in Scotland. Anyway, we let him have a nice wee sleep. On the second day, we dragged him out here once again, and at the time, we liked to make our punishment quite ironic. This man had killed the king because he wanted the throne for himself, so he did give him the coronation he'd always wanted, with a little ironic twist. See, we tied him down onto an iron throne, and we gave him his crown. His crown was also made of iron, and had been heated in a furnace until it was glowing red hot. We took it from the furnace and plunged it down onto the Earl's head, hot metal burning into his scalp. And of course, as hot metal begins to heat, it begins to shriek. And as it squeezed around his skull, it branded the words, King of the Traitors, into his forehead. When it was finally cool enough to touch, the executioner tore it from his head, taking with it all of his hair, all of his scalp, all of his mousse, his gel. He was worth it, yeah. We then cut him down, locked him back inside the Market Cross, and gave him a final night's rest. On the third and final fateful day, we dragged him out here one last time. Here we put him in a device called a pillory. Now, you might have heard of the stocks. The pillory is a mobile version that fastens at the front. He then had a spike driven through his tongue, and the end of this tied to the back of a stinking, smelly horse. He was then paraded up and down the Royal Mile. Now, this man had killed our king, so the townsfolk here loathed him. They gathered in the streets with all their rotten fruit and veg, and when he came past, they threw him at him, they shouted insults, they spat in his face, 3 in a row.